Welcome back, mamas. Y'all, I'm so excited for you because I am going to reveal to you today the plan that I use to literally change my life. Like when I say that, I know it sounds dramatic, but this is something that is so simple. I never thought I could plan. If planning makes you want to run and hide, please listen to this episode because that was me. I did not think I could schedule. I did not think I had time for a plan or a routine. And if you didn't hear the episode on Tuesday, you'll probably want to go and listen to that because I talk a lot about the why. But today we are getting into the how and what you want to do and how to do it and why it will be so simple and easy and how literally taking 10 or 15 minutes one time a week could just save you so many hours and so much planning and so much heartache and headache and stress. For me, it was life changing. And therefore, I believe that it will be for you as well. And I promise you, if I can do it, you can do it. Okay. So let's get to it. Do you wish you had control of your days, that you had a rhythm, but instead feel overwhelmed, scattered, and like there's never enough time? You're in the right place. I'm Danielle, a recovering workaholic, wife, and stay-at-home mom of 2 girls. I've learned how to reclaim my time and find purpose and freedom so I can be present with my kids and feel like myself again. Here, we embrace where we are, but we don't stay there. So if you're ready to trade the chaos for clarity, the guilt for grace, and the endless to-do list for aligned flow, grab the kiddos a snack and toss in that laundry because I know you're multitasking, and let's do this because your time, your purpose, and you matter. Okay, mamas, we've got part 2 about time, about focus, about your mindset around your priorities, right? And picking 3 priorities for your day. We talked about how to do that. We talked about why it was important. Today, we're going to get in the nitty-gritty of the whole entire process. I'm going to walk you through my process and I'm going to expand on the top 3. And by the end of this, I feel like you are going to walk away and be able to implement this in your day. And that's what I want for you. I want you to be able to focus on what you want to focus on what is most important to you, because you are going to feel so much better when you do that. Okay. And this is what we do for our life with Prioritize Your Purpose, the coaching that I do. But we're going to start by doing it for your day. Okay. So I'm going to start with a quote because I love to start with quotes. This one is from Steve Maraboli, and he says, "Incredible change happens in your life when you decide to take control of what you do have power over instead of craving control over what you don't." Okay. Taking control of what you do have power over instead of craving control over what you don't. So, a lot of times we don't have control of exactly how our day is going to go, right? As moms of little kids, we know that no matter how much planning and how much effort and how much time we put into devising a day, that something inevitably will happen. Something will come up. Your child will get sick. Your child will be cranky. Your child will decide they don't want to do what you've planned to do. Like whatever it is will come up and will take your day completely off the path of what you thought it was going to look like. Okay. And so, because we know this, a lot of times we think that we cannot plan. Right? We think that we cannot plan our days because we never know what's going to happen. And so, in not planning, we completely lose control of everything, right? We think that the not planning has to happen when in reality, we can pick our priorities. When I first started doing these things, it was first just me and a pen and a paper. It was like a notebook. I didn't have anything fancy. I just needed a pen and paper to write down everything that I had to do. Now, I started doing this when I was in a program called Time of Your Life, and it's a Tony Robbins program. And I would brain dump, and there's a lot more steps that are involved, but I'm going to take you through just what is the most, I don't know if I'm going to say the most important, but the most integral pieces of this so that you can start doing this. Okay. So What you first need to do is to brain dump everything. And I do this once a week. Okay. So I would do this once a week. For me, it was always on Sunday. You definitely want to pick a day of the week to do it. Sunday or Monday is typically the best because that's a lot of times when people plan their week. So for me, it was Sunday. And I would sit down and I would think about everything that I had to do that week. Okay. And I would write it all down. Every single thing that I knew I had to do, I would write it down on a piece of paper, even if it was doing the laundry or cooking dinner or going to the grocery or, if I had a meeting or an appointment, doctor's appointment, driving to and from dance, whatever it was, it went down on the paper. If I had to do it that week, buying a birthday present, cleaning for company or whatever it was. Okay. It went down on the paper. Then what you do is you look at all the things that you've written on the paper and you prioritize them. Okay. This is called prioritize with purpose for a reason. We prioritize what needs to be done. And the way that I would do this is if there was something on the list that was a non negotiable for the week. And what I mean by non negotiable is just like, this has to happen this week. If there's an appointment, that has to happen this week, a doctor's appointment, we have to do that. If there's a birthday party on Friday, I have to get a birthday present before the birthday party. That has to happen this week, right? So everything that has to happen on this particular week gets a 1. It's important. It has to happen this week. If it doesn't have to happen this week, it would get a 2. Okay. Or 2, a 3, or a 4. Okay. So we go down the list of priorities. So if you really, really would like for it to happen this way, then it would get a 2. So let's just say you want to go to the grocery and because you want to cook on Monday night. So you have to go to the grocery on Monday, right? So that's going to get a 2 for me. It will not get a 1 because if I didn't go to the grocery, it wouldn't be absolutely life ending, right? Like I would be able to pivot and either make something out of what I already had at home or I would be able to carry out or whatever. Now, if that is going to throw you off and you're going to be like, oh no, I can't do that. Like that would make me have all this guilt for not cooking if I were to order out, or if that didn't happen on Monday, then oh my gosh, my whole, that would ruin my day. Then you absolutely can give that a 1, right? But for me, I would probably give it a 2. And then anything else that you would really like to happen on this week is going to get a 3. And then anything that you look at and you're like, okay, I would like for that to happen this week, but if it gets pushed to next week, that's going to get a 4. Okay. And so you're going to prioritize everything on your brain dump list. And then you're going to go through and you're going to look at each and every day, and everything that has a 1 or a 2 on it, you are going to put on a day of the week. So and what you want to do is you only want to have 3 things each and every day. So 3 things Monday, 3 things Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. If you're doing Saturday, for me, I don't do Sunday, but I might have 3 things on Saturday. For me, we mostly rest on Sunday. I try not to have 3 things I have to do on Sunday. Okay. I might have things I have to get done, but like if, I'm not going to put my top 3 priorities on Sunday. Okay. That's just for me. So you can do it however you want, but you will put those top 3 priorities on a day. And then you will take a look at the week and you will say, okay, did I get all of my 1s and 2s in? Are all of my 1s and 2s happening on one of the days, right? Okay. And so that's 18 things, right? 18 things because we have 6 days times 3 is 18, right? So we have at least 18 things that are listed as top priorities. And we can look at them and say, okay, like for instance, something where I have a birthday party on Friday that I have to get a present for, I'm probably not going to put my top priority of getting that birthday present on Monday, unless I'm going out and I know I'm going to be near a store where I need to get the present, then maybe I would put it on the Monday, but probably not going to do that until like Thursday or maybe even Friday because I might have other priorities that I need to get done earlier in the week. For instance, going to the grocery and shopping for the week, right? Where I know that I can get the birthday present later on the week if I go to the grocery on Monday. And the reason I do this is because if I didn't put these priorities on certain days, then I may be thinking about this birthday present. This is just an example I'm using. I'm going to stick with it. Okay. So if this birthday present was kind of like looming in my head, right? It wasn't written down on paper. It wasn't anywhere. I didn't necessarily know when I was going to do it. I just knew it had to be done and I hadn't written it down. I hadn't given it a place. Then it would just be looming there. And I might take Monday and do the birthday present because I knew I had to get it done and I would be checking it off my to-do list. But because I decided to do that on Monday, I may not have gotten something else that was on my priority list done because I took that birthday present and put it in its place. Does that make sense? So when we know that we have time for things, a lot of times they can make us feel like this weight on our shoulders, like we've got to get that done. We've got to get that off of our plate because we know it has to be done, but we might sacrifice doing something else because we hadn't already planned to do that later in the week. And we just wanted to get it off of our mind, right? And so when we lay things out like this, then what it does is it allows you to focus on the things that you know are most important to you. Right? You already have put a 1 or a 2 on those things because they are the most important things to you. Things that are a 3, they're still important to you. Things that are a 4 probably are even important to you, but they just don't have to get done on this week. If they don't get done this week, it's not going to be the end of the world. Like for me, if I know that I would like to, let's just say, clean a bathroom, right? I want to clean this particular bathroom this week. But if it doesn't get done this week, I'm not going to be like, it's not going to end my life. Like I'm not going to be beating myself up about it. I know that I'll get it done. I might get it done this weekend, right? Like sometimes that's what I would do is, we get to Saturday or Sunday and I really wanted to get that bathroom cleaned and I didn't get it done and I'll go ahead and do it on like Sunday or something. Or maybe I just move it to next week if it really wasn't bothering me that much, right? So if you are planning these things out on your calendar, then you are able to know that the most important things are going to get done, right? You can get the most important things done. They're all planned out because you can get 3 things done in a day. And the way that I like to think about this is all of the things that are 3s and 4s. If you don't have 18 things that are 1s and 2s, if you don't have 18 1s and 2s, you can start putting 3s on that priority list, right? And I'm not saying that your 3s or your 4s aren't going to get done. You can actually, I advise you kind of to take those 3s and 4s and to lay them out throughout the week as well to kind of figure out, okay, I would like to do this probably this day. And if you have like doctor's appointments or something on a certain day, you would put less things there, right? Like you might be able to get 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 things done on a particular day. It's possible. It's just that we only want to commit ourselves to those top 3. And then anything else we get done is a bonus. And this allows us to enjoy our days. It allows us to be present. It allows us to say, like, we get our first 3 done. And I like to advocate for trying to get them done as soon in the day as possible because the longer you put them off, the less likely you are to get them done. Right. But I like to think about it in such a way that if I get those top 3 things done, then everything else is going to be okay. Right? Like if I get more done, that's amazing. But I know that I can at least get those 3 things done and I can feel really good about it if, I've gotten the 3 things done and all of a sudden, somebody wants to go to the park or somebody wants to go to the zoo or somebody wants to do something, then we can say, okay, yeah, let's go do that. And I can like be fully present instead of like taking them and then the whole time thinking, we got to go because I got to clean that bathroom or we got to go because I got to get that birthday present or whatever it is. Like you will be able to be present in the moment because you know that you are set up for success for your day, right? And so you are going to take these three priorities as well as all of the other priorities that you listed, right? Like not all of the other priorities, all of the other things that you listed in your brain dump. And you're going to put them on a specific day of the week that you're going to do them. And again, you can take this and just write down the brain dump on a piece of paper and then turn the paper, like flip it over, turn it sideways, and write Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then list your top three priorities that you're going to do each and every day. And then list the other things below those top three priorities. Okay. And if you have a paper planner, even better, right? Like a lot of times I know all of my planners, they have like three priorities listed at the top because I make sure that they do, because this is not something that is, that I have come up with. Like this is something that so many successful people have said to make sure you have a three, and to not have any more than three, because your days can move, they can ebb and flow. But if you get those top three things done, and you have control over those things. What was the quote? It said, instead of craving control over what you don't have control over, right? You don't have control over all these other variables that might happen, but you do. You can take control of setting this at the beginning of the week so that you are going to get the most important things done this week. Okay. I have a lot more in-depth training on this because a lot of times it can be hard when you start to do this. There's a lot of mindset that goes into this, and a lot of ways you can solidify this in, and a lot of different techniques that you can use for this. But just doing this alone, this is exactly how I started, and it really can help you. It will help you. If you do this, I promise you, you will feel better every day, and you will feel so much better at the end of the week. And then you can look back and you can say, okay, what worked and what didn't? Right? Like what worked and what didn't? What should I not do? What should I do? Because everyone's probably going to take this and do it a different way, right? Like some people like to time block and block out, pockets of time here and there. I like to do that a lot of times when I'm putting my work schedule in. Like if I'm saying, okay, for these 2 hours, I am going to, record a podcast. And for these 2 hours, this is going to be my editing day, like whatever it is. But when it comes to kids and, a lot of times you don't have blocks of time unless they have nap time that's consistent every day, which for me, that did not happen, right? Like when I put my kids down for a nap, like it would be literally because they fell asleep in the car. Like my kids did not nap. Now I had great sleepers. Like they slept the whole night through. I put them down and they would sleep and sleep, and they would wake up and then they were ready to go, right? Like they hardly ever napped. And when they did, it was usually because we had done a lot of activity that day and they just were wiped in the car on the way home and they wound up falling asleep. And if I got any time when we got home, it was, it was a win. But, a lot of times it was just when we got home, they woke up and we went on with our day. And that's just how it was. So I didn't have that built in nap schedule. If you do, then that is a power working time, right? Like unless you're a newborn mommy, which in that case, you probably want to sleep. But if not, then you can use that time to your advantage. And that's when you can knock out your top three every day. Or that's when if you got your top three done earlier in the day, you can knock out a lot of those other things that you have on your list. And what happens is when you get to the end of the week and you look back on your list and you can see all of the things that were on there that you may not have gotten to, and you can take them and you can put them on the next week. And a lot of things that you do are actually going to be on the next week anyway, right? Like you are going to have to go to the grocery again, and you're going to have to cook dinner every day. And you're going, if that's important to you, like that was important to me. So I cooked every single day of the week, right? And so it's just going to depend on your particular schedule and what the way that you do things, and you can create routines this way. Like this builds such good habits. If you start doing things this way, then I think that you will be refreshed. It will allow you to be more present, and it will just be life changing for you. Like it was so life changing for me. And so I really do believe it will be life changing for you as well. And so I wanted to read one more quote here from Edward de Bono, and it says, "Complexity means distracted effort. Simplicity means focused effort." Complexity means distracted effort, and simplicity means focused effort. You guys, when we don't take the time to think about what it is that we have to do, and we just have all of this stuff in our brain and we haven't written it down, and we think we don't need to, right? Like we think we could never plan, right? Like all this stuff is just, I has to get done, but I just can't plan. I don't have time for schedules. This is never going to work for me. Like I used to think all of these thoughts, but that is complex, right? It's distracted effort. We are so distracted when all of this is living in our brain, when we don't have everything, we haven't taken the time to write it down. It does not take that much time to do this process. I promise you, when I started doing it, it took a lot longer than once I got into a routine. This would only take me like 10 or 15 minutes, right? When I started doing it, it probably took me more like 20 or 25, maybe the first week that I did this, it probably took me a good 25 because I wanted to make sure, like, did I get every single thing down, right? But what we're creating with this is simplicity. Simplicity means focused effort. So when we take the time to write this stuff down, to come up with our top 3, to think about all of the things that we have to do, and not just to think about them, but to actually write them down and to know that they can be fluid and move around, this is going to create so much simplicity in your life that you are just going to be amazed. I know I was. And so with that, I am going to really encourage you that this is something that we do for your life with Prioritize Your Purpose. This is something that we do is we figure out what the most important things are to you in your life. And we take and we peel back the layers and we go through and we come up with a direction for you. And we come up with what is most important to you during this season of your life. When you have that guiding light, when you have that true north, as I like to call it, then we create this aligned flow where everything just works together and where you just feel so much more in tune with who you are and where you're meant to be and what you're doing at this point in your life. And it all started, really honestly, it started with me with doing this for my calendar. So I really want you to take the first step and try to do this for your calendar, but also take the first step and go sign up for one coaching session. Just one, just try it out and just take the step for yourself to see the change that this can make in your life. And it can create, I know it may sound overwhelming. I know it may sound like more work, but it is going to create this simplicity that I believe you're craving. And so go to prioritizewithpurpose.com/coaching, or just prioritizewithpurpose.com. And then you'll see the button for coaching. Click that and you'll see there's packages there, but just sign up for one, right? Like one session, and I'll walk you through it. So I hope you have an amazing weekend, and I would love to hear from you. If you start any of these, please email me, Danielle@prioritizewithpurpose.com. I want to hear how it goes. All right, till next week, y'all. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, Mama. If so, please leave a review on Apple Podcasts and then hit share and send this to a mom who needs this in her day. I'll meet you right back here next week. Keep smiling, y'all.